How many of you have a brilliant business idea swirling around in your head, maybe scribbled on a napkin, saved in your notes app, or maybe you've even bought the domain name? And then nothing happens, right? That dream business stays a dream because it starts to feel huge, expensive, and honestly, terrifying. What if I told you there's a way to ditch the endless planning and actually launch something, validate it, and even make your first $1,000 this weekend? Today, we're deep diving into the core ideas from Noah Kagan's book, The $1 Million Weekend. Noah, the founder of AppSumo and an early Facebook employee, argues that you don't need $1 million or years of planning to start. You need 48 hours, a willingness to ask, and a focus to get that first paying customer. Stick around, because we're breaking down how this counterintuitive approach can get you unstuck and into action. So why do so many great ideas die before they even start? Often it boils down to two things: fear and the myth of the perfect launch. We tell ourselves things like, I need a perfect business plan, I need the funding first, I need a fancy website and logo. What if nobody buys it? What if I fail? We get lost in analysis paralysis. We research our competitors endlessly. We tweak our product features, design the logo for weeks. And then we get overwhelmed or discouraged and the idea fizzles out. We convince ourselves that we need everything figured out before we can even talk to a potential customer. However, Noah Kagan flips this completely on its head. He argues that the traditional path is exactly why so many people fail to launch. The central pillar of the $1 Million Weekend is the challenge itself. Can you make $1,000 or even just $1 in 48 hours? This isn't about building a massive company overnight. It's about starting, validating, and generating momentum. How? By focusing relentlessly on two key things: validation and the ask. First, validation. Instead of building your amazing product in secret for 6 months, Noah insists that you find out if anyone actually wants it first. This means talking to potential customers now. Not after you have a website, not after you have inventory, right now. Find the pain points that you think you're solving and see if people genuinely experience it, and more importantly, are they willing to pay to solve it? And then comes the most critical part, the ask. This is where most people freeze. You have to actually ask for the sale. And that could be, asking for a pre-order, asking someone to pay for the initial version of your service, or asking for a small commitment to prove demand. The goal isn't perfection, it's proof. Are people willing to pull out their wallets? That's the only validation that truly matters at this stage. Getting that first yes, that first dollar is incredibly powerful. It proves that your concept has legs and gives you the fuel to keep going. However, avoiding the ask because it feels uncomfortable is the surest way to get stuck. This isn't just theory. Many successful companies started incredibly lean, focusing on validation before scaling. For example, Dropbox. Before building their complex file syncing infrastructure, the founder created a simple explainer video demonstrating how Dropbox would work. He shared it on Hacker News, and then the sign-up list exploded overnight. This simple video validated the demand massively before the main product was even fully built. It was a form of the ask. Sign up if you want this. Another example is with Airbnb. The founders couldn't afford their San Francisco rent, and then they noticed a big design conference was coming to town and all the hotels were booked solid. Their initial idea wasn't a global platform. It was simply buying some air mattresses and renting out the space in their own apartment. They created a basic website, Air, Bed, and Breakfast, and they got the first 3 paying customers that weekend. They validated the core problem, the lack of accommodations, and people's willingness to pay for an unconventional solution in a tiny scale before seeking investment or building a huge platform. These examples show that starting doesn't require a massive perfect launch. It requires identifying a real problem and asking people if they're willing to pay for your initial, perhaps very basic solution. So how do you actually do this over a weekend? Here's the essence of Noah's outline. First, ideate and validate pain. Brainstorm problems that you can solve. Don't focus on the solution yet. Focus on the pain. Is it real? Is it urgent? Who has this pain? Second, find your first customers. Identify 3 to 5 people you actually know or can easily reach who likely experience this pain. Third, the validation conversation. Talk to them. Don't pitch. Ask questions. Understand their problem deeply, then float your potential solution idea. Ask them, if I could solve this for you, would that be valuable? Would you potentially pay for something like this? You want to gauge their real interest, not just polite nods. Fourth, the offer. Based on the feedback, craft a simple offer. Maybe it's a service you perform manually, a pre-order for a product, a small workshop. Make it concrete. The fifth step is to ask for the sale. Go back to the interested people, ask them to buy. Aim for that $1, $100, or $1,000 target within 48 hours. Be direct and be clear about what they get. And sixth, deliver and iterate. If you get a customer, deliver, and then learn from the experience and repeat. If you don't get a customer, analyze why. Was it the wrong audience, the wrong problem, wrong offer? Tweak it and try again. The key is speed and learning. Failure is okay, inaction is not. So, the $1 Million Weekend isn't necessarily about making $1 million in a weekend. It's about breaking through the fear and inertia that stops most potential entrepreneurs. It's about proving to yourself and to the market that you have something valuable by getting that first commitment, that first dollar. Forget the perfect business plan for now. Forget the fancy website. Focus on solving a real problem and having the courage to ask. However daunting it seems, taking that small first step is infinitely more productive than the endless planning. What's one small business idea that you could try to validate this weekend using the $1 Million Weekend method? Let me know down in the comment section. I'd love to hear your micro launch plans. If you found this breakdown helpful, give the video a thumbs up, subscribe if you aren't already, and definitely consider picking up the book, The $1 Million Weekend. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.